better than us? Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate!
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes of me! You got it. 60 minutes! No business, no mercy! Nothing but stop on the blood bubble! You got me! We're gonna ring the bell! We're gonna ring that championship bell! Ding! Motherfucking dog!
Ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl. 3rd and 16, Mahomes rolling out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block, DeJean is in, touchdown!
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, Huddle Up Podcast. It is Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025. Glad to be back with you for another week. Maybe a slightly calmer week in the football world. Still some craziness, some coaching changes, and some wild stuff in both the NFL and college. We'll talk about most/all of it here coming up on the show. Make sure you're following along with us on all platforms throughout the season and the off season. We're at Huddle Up Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. You can get us on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. We are on Twitch at Huddle Up Inc. As well. Make sure you are grabbing our merchandise over on the TeePublic store. You can grab that tpublic.com/user/huddleuppodcast. You can get the QR code if you click directly in the top right corner of the screen or scan the QR code there in the top right corner. Would certainly get you to that store. We have a new Bills Mafia with 2 S's as I messed up the power rankings graphic a week ago on this show. I figure when you make a mistake, you might as well lean into it, make some merch out of it. So click the link tree there, the QR code there, and you can go ahead and grab that. If you hit the QR code up there above my left hand right now, that'll take you to our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button over there. Would certainly appreciate that. Get our numbers up. Our numbers have been growing. We've been appreciating the interactions we've been getting on the YouTube channel, and then now you'll see that change just slightly again up there in that top left corner or top right corner of the screen above my left shoulder. That is the link tree, and that'll get you to everything Huddle Up related. And get you to everywhere you need to be, the podcast channels, the social media channels, and everything else. So we would certainly appreciate you giving us a like, a follow, a share, and everything wherever you can interact with us. We certainly do appreciate it. If you're with us live in the comments, certainly leave one here. I'm flying solo, at least for the time being. Sean actually had to go to a doctor's appointment So he'll be a little bit late. He is still laughing over the fact that Brian Kelly fired in year number 4 of his LSU tenure. So he is getting some repairs at the doctor. So certainly he will join us when he can. And maybe that's where I'll start. And I know we usually get kicked off with the best of the week, and then we get into college football, NFL football and stuff previews. But we talked about the firing of James Franklin at Penn State last week, and the coaching carousel, and how quickly is it proper for schools to begin to make those changes, and when's the right time. And I think this year more than ever before, we're seeing changes in the college football coaching staff. Billy Napier fired. We saw the UCLA coach fired earlier in the year. James Franklin, of course, now Brian Kelly. There's still calls for Mike Norvell at Florida State and more. But Brian Kelly finishes up at 34-14 in the at LSU, 19-10 in conference play. He took them to 3 bowl games, 3 wins in the postseason, finishing the end of the year ranked in his first 2 years in Baton Rouge. But now LSU finds a new head coach, and certainly Brian Kelly will land if and where he wants to. What's going on, Devin, in the comments? Yeah, Sean, and we'll see if Mike or EJ or Kyle drop by. But welcome in, Devin, into the comments. And I know there's been a lot of reaction in a lot of different ways to the Brian Kelly firing, and I'll give my thoughts on it because Notre Dame fans have certainly had a very interesting reaction to it. The Notre Dame fan base that just about 4 years ago, in a month, at the end of the season, was left reeling at the news that Brian Kelly had left, had taken the job at LSU, and in a very swift fashion. The report was that he was on a recruiting visit, was trying to get a new recruit to commit to Notre Dame, and within minutes of leaving the recruit's house, having dinner, multiple helpings, I believe, of barbecue at this recruit's house, Brian Kelly, just moments later, was announced as the new LSU head coach, and had left for what he kind of said were greener pastures, would be easier, had more resources to win a national title there. Obviously, at Notre Dame, 4 straight 10-plus win seasons to close out his tenure, 5 total 10-win seasons in his time there. Technically 6 if you have or 7 if you have the vacated 2012 and 2013 seasons. First Notre Dame head coach ever to do that, and then leaves. And to say that the relationship of Notre Dame to Brian Kelly is complicated, I don't think begins to describe it, because you have an individual who brought the program back from really kind of a really bad spot. And as I'm pulling it up, it really was a bad situation that Notre Dame was in. After Lou Holtz left, was forced out, retired, whatever word you want to describe it, Notre Dame had Bob Davie, who finished 35-25, George O'Leary, who never coached there due to basically a lying on the resume situation that Notre Dame caught. Tyrone Willingham finished at 21-15. Charlie Weiss spent 5 seasons there, 35-27. Again, Notre Dame still has not won a national title since 1988. And then Brian Kelly takes over a program that was really reeling. It came off one of its worst, literally one of its worst seasons of all time. They went 3-9 in one season under Charlie Weiss, another losing season the following. And Brian Kelly comes in and takes over a program, and in his time there had one losing season. The 4-8 season of 2016, Notre Dame didn't react harshly. They didn't fire him. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021, all 10-win seasons coming out of that. Finished his career 92-39. Technically speaking, 113-40. If you don't account for the vacated victories that Notre Dame had. But it wasn't about his time there, his records there, that had the impact on his legacy at Notre Dame and with Notre Dame fans. It was how he left, and by his words, why he left. He left to go to a place where he said it would be easier to win, that had better resources to win. And he goes to LSU, a place that has had numerous national championship winning coaches that preceded him. Les Miles, Ed Orgeron, Nick Saban. And the thought for Brian Kelly is, I can go to a place and this is where I'll get my national title on the big stage. 10-4, no college football playoff in 2022. 10-3 in 2023, no college football playoff. 9-4 in 2024, no college football playoff. An expanded playoff, a 12-team playoff, didn't get there. And then this year starts the season 5-3, 2-3 in SEC play, including an absolute dominant victory by Texas A&M in Baton Rouge. Yeah, Devin, I'm good, man. What's going on? Devin asked if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're good. But LSU makes the change. I mean, the crowd in Baton Rouge started the Fire Kelly chants. The news started to break on Sunday that there was deep discussions and that that a change seemed somewhat imminent as the day went on. Some reports about how and why it went down. That LSU's president or the athletic director wanted some coaching changes. Kelly didn't want to make another one of the changes, or wanted to make some others, and that's where the talks really broke down between the two sides, ultimately disbanding. And then the reactions on a lot of sides has been different as well. There's some people who think that he has kind of gotten a raw deal. LSU fans, I've seen many, and maybe it's just my social media algorithm, that have put LSU fans apologizing to Notre Dame fans for how they reacted upon the hiring of Brian Kelly. Bragging at Notre Dame fans that they had stolen this head coach, and that they were going to be the place where he was going to win the national title. Some Notre Dame fans certainly have been playing "Told You So" with LSU fans this week. As I see a line brawl breaks out in Pittsburgh and Philly, those two teams in overtime. But I think ultimately, and it's something that we've talked about all season so far, and I think what we're going to continue to see as we get into this NIL era, the transfer era, I think we're going to start seeing fan bases become less and less patient. As hard as that is to believe, I think we're going to start seeing fan bases become less and less patient with head coaching situations. As Sean joins into the show. Sean, what's going on this week, man?
Yo, what's going on?
I was telling the people you were just at the doctor recovering from the injuries from the laughter from the Brian Kelly firing. So,
oh my gosh,
good to see.
I can't even tell you the number of side stitches they gave me.
Good to see you are feeling well. Devin says I seem down the way I'm talking about. No, I'm trying to preserve my voice. I think the change in the weather or something has given me like the sinusy mess. So I'm trying to make sure I don't blow my voice out, Devin. But I appreciate
finally re-emerging. Not 100%, but a solid 92.
There you go.
We're cruising. Hey, Devin, what's going on?
Hey, Devin joining us. But yeah, I think just giving a few thoughts about the Brian Kelly firing, and I think what would the last point I was kind of making was I just think that in this era we're going to start, and we've talked about it before this year. I think we're just going to see coaches or schools and fan bases become less patient as there's so much more money involved.
Thing.
Right.
I can tell you just from, not just eighth graders I teach, but just people you run into. I mean, everything in your life is instantaneous. You don't like the game, turn it off. You don't like this stream, switch to another one. It's always screens. It's always video game. It's everything's instant approval. And if it's not going well, you want that positive surge, and there's no patience in life anymore. So it's not surprising that's translating to sports. I don't know. I think the only way that it really reverses course anytime faster than it appears would be if schools, like last week we talked about Penn State. Now they've always had patience.
Sure.
And if you have these proverbial powerhouses that still manage to maintain that, then you see it succeed long term. If we can survive to long term somewhere and watch it work out. Like Dabo Swinney finally leaves, they settle in on a new coach, and they're patient just like they were with Dabo, and it works. Like if something along those lines, a big profile school that's able to turn it around just by giving a guy a shot for a few years. And now I'm not saying Brian Kelly hasn't had a shot. Like I this isn't exactly a second year panic.
Right.
With some of the success that they've had from hires in less time, I think their patience level. I thought they gave Brian a pretty fair shake. I thought there were several times that they could have cut him loose, and it wouldn't have been that surprising.
Well, and I think the one thing I found somewhat interesting is in the wake of the James Franklin firing or the Billy Napier firing, we've seen, especially at Penn State, decommits and changes in recruit behavior. You're not seeing a lot of that with LSU. So I don't know if it's people really commit to the school, or if people are like, man, I wanted to play at LSU. I got the chance, and now I'm still more excited to go there because they trust what management will do. But just again, a continued change in college football. But I can promise you, the Huddle Up listener, that this is not going anywhere.
No,
that
family.
There we go. That is not going anywhere. This is not going to go.
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Those are staying here.
We literally are. We just did the same thing a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. But
Franklin and a Kelly and just all the loveliness. Maybe they'll just trade spots.
Maybe. Wouldn't that be great? But speaking of the same things, let's kick off the show officially.
Nice.
All right, as we do each and every week, we start off the show giving our best from the last week in football or in sports. Now, granted, because none of our teams are still playing in baseball, we probably don't have anything outside of football to be happy about. But Sean, what was the best of this past weekend for you?
Well, man, this was one of the harder weeks to choose, I think, and not because there were so many. A lot of the I feel good about this had as much to do with how bad I felt on the other side of the coin, where it was like, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, hooray for this team. And then I'm like, oh, well, there's more because the other team stank. It's just kind of like I'd put it together and I'm like, yay, New England. And I'm like, they played the Browns. And I was going to pick the Dolphins. I was going to go with Devin's Dolphins. And I think that game is way more about the inconsistency and the just trash play. Like Atlanta looked like they've never even fielded a football team.
Brutal. And
I understand it's a backup quarterback, but he was a Pro Bowler before. I mean, he's not.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, I mean, when your best offensive, first of all, your second best offensive player isn't even in the game. So your best offensive player to only touch it 11 times or whatever he touched it is just nonsense. So I couldn't pick the Miami Dolphins, and I was hoping Mike wasn't on here because the goddamn Jets were a finalist, but I've settled on something a bit more obscure / minor than I typically do. I'm not picking a whole team. I'm going to go back to Thursday again. Second straight week, I'm going to go back to Thursday. I'm going to take a gander at Jim's Chargers, but not the Chargers generally. I'm going to go specifically to Kimani Vidal. I'm going to take Kimani Vidal.
How about that Charger?
Yeah. How about him? And how about Kimani Vidal stepping into a role that was vacated by a rookie that was injured, who already had a backup that was injured, who presumably they were going to hand it to guy one, eventually settled on guy two, and I have never seen somebody that small not only run as well as he did, 117 yards and a score on 23 carries, over 5 a clip, but blocking. He picked up some pass rushes from guys 1.5 times his size to 2 times his size. And I thought he played a fantastic game. As an Marion Hampton owner, I am somewhat concerned.
A little bit.
I don't think really long-term, but I mean, one pro for the Chargers is if Hampton comes out healthy and if you settle on Harris and some of these other guys, that was a pretty good start to building some trade value for a guy that you could maybe get some pieces for. So Kimani Vidal is my best of the week. I couldn't go with the whole Chargers. I just feel like Minnesota has just mismanaged their entire season.
It's been pretty bad.
I mean, you've now injured a person. A person is going under a knife in a hospital because you have mismanaged your QB situation. So Minnesota may come up as my worst of the week, but that would be a much harder decision.
That would be.
But Kimani Vidal, way to go.
One can have it better than us. Future out.
No, not better than Kimani Vidal. That's for sure.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I kind of it felt weird to have the Jets as like a good because you had the tragic passing of Nick Mangold, but to get the win in that situation on that day at the end, just a powerful emotional win for them for a lot of reasons. So that was kind of a best. But really, for me, when I look at the best, it's not one. It isn't one specific team or player or thing. But when you're looking at college football right now, and I know some people may not like it, some people may disagree with who's where and who's there right now. But when you're looking at the top 15 in the AP poll this week, there's a lot of different or fresh teams in that top 15. Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, BYU. Those are all top 10 teams, by the way. And then you had Texas Tech and Virginia as teams that, if you really follow along college football over the past 5 to 10 years, these are not names that you typically see as the Flyers just get a shootout win over the Penguins.
I was trying to follow it. I saw an alert that they won in overtime. They must have had one overturned.
It was, yeah. Like they had a goal overturned.
Like,
the Penguins had one overturned. So you had two overturned goals. You had a line brawl, and then you had the Flyers get the win in the shootout. That? So a lot of stuff happening there.
There you go, guys.
And then they'll switch over to the Capitals here. Hopefully we'll see Alex Ovechkin get his 900th career goal, which is still a crazy thing to hear. But, just seeing a lot of different teams kind of in the conversation, especially at the higher end of the top 10 and the top 15, I think is fun. And whether or not these teams are quote unquote worthy, whether or not these teams will last there over the remaining 6 weeks of the season, as we still have the month of November and in conference championship weeks. But because right now, I believe, and I don't have it pulled up, but I believe that if like the season ended today, the Miami Hurricanes, who are ranked 11th or 10th, they would not be playing in the ACC title game. It would be Georgia Tech versus Virginia because they are still undefeated in conference.
Wow.
So
somebody got to fix that.
As unpredictable as a lot of things have been, it's still pretty fun. Devin says his best of the week is his Dolphins winning. He said, no, it wasn't against the greatest team, but a win's a win. Take them when you can, Devin. Take them.
To their credit, they beat the pants off them. Like it wasn't close.
It was not.
And that's something you got to do. If you're gonna prove you're better than somebody, go out and look. Time left.
Especially in the NFL right now, when it feels like everything is up for grabs. You take it where you can get it because, right now, the Dolphins are 14th in the AFC, at 2-6, but your number 7 seed in the AFC is currently the 5-3 Kansas City Chiefs. So you're 3 wins behind them, with still a lot of time, half the season in front of you. So you may have to start collecting some wins against bad teams. That's okay. Now, before anybody on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or anything like that, I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to the playoffs. Okay? Let me just put that out there.
I understood that was the case.
Correct.
It could have been misconstrued as somewhat of a prediction or a path. But there is a path.
There's a path. Nobody, not
Doesn't
even
mean anyone's taking it.
Not even the Titans, not even the Jets, not even the Saints have been officially eliminated yet. They're not going to go to the playoffs, but they have not been officially eliminated. No. Let's put it that way. Devin says awful of the week. The injury to Cam Scatterbo.
Jeez,
man, just an awful injury. The one positive story out of it was just you kind of saw the response from a city that's pretty well known for kind of attacking that kind of thing, or at least that seems to be the hypothetically cheering when a certain star wide receiver broke his neck, possibly.
Right, maybe something along those lines. And maybe a couple trophies, took the edge off a bit.
Maybe.
But it was a pretty it was a pretty gruesome injury, and I think the whole place kind of just immediately realized that a very exciting face for the league had just injured himself, and the fact that the Eagles, sent Big Dom over with some cheesesteaks and pizzas for the family, and they had a lot of players stop by, and I heard Bond swung by, and just a lot of Eagles and just Philadelphia folks in general just making sure he was all right, and he thanked him pretty wholeheartedly. So that was the warmer side, and he seems like an upbeat guy. I'm sure once this is all done, guy won't miss a beat. But yeah, really, really sad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, look, I kind of say that in passing about the Michael Irvin. I don't think that anybody realized the extent of the Michael Irvin injury at first. It wasn't quite as clear I
think that one was a little more like, he's down, look at that guy, and then later realized that.
Yeah, not that it ever justifies but very different scenarios as well. And the technology. I mean, you have the giant video boards at the link that you didn't have at Veterans Stadium and things. So slightly different, but that's going to close us up here on the best of the week. And as we go into the college football discussion, Sean, this is the final Tuesday before we start getting college football playoff rankings on a weekly basis.
Where's the season going?
We're going into week 10 of college football. But I wanted to take a look because we'll start doing this for real next week. So we can almost kind of think of this as a preseason of sorts for ourselves, is looking at what the college football playoff rankings would look like if they would come out for the first time today. Now, this is based on this week's AP Top 25. And BYU and Miami technically tied at 10. I gave Miami the edge at 10, and BYU at 11. Hopefully the college football playoff doesn't ever I don't think they could actually tie anybody, because that would certainly make the rankings a little bit, or the bracketing a little bit harder. So remember this year,
I would imagine, based on schedule, conference, everything.
And that's why
the committee was going to give an edge to one of those two teams, it's probably Miami. Throwing it out there,
right? And that's kind of why I put them above. So again, this is based on the AP, and this year we no longer have the mental gymnastics of having to go. The best 4 conference leaders are the top 4, and everybody else filters down. This is a straight 1 through 11, and I'll get to that in a second, and then the 12th seed. So right now, your top 4: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama. Those would be your first round buys.
Wild.
And then your first round matchups. And now this is where I said the top 11 and somebody else can come into play, because you do still need to have 5 conference champions. The Power 4.
So because there's only 4 represented in the top 12.
Correct.
The 12th team gets booted to be replaced by the next highest ranked.
Right. Well, so you have the
leader, right?
Well, yes. So you have the Power 4, Big 10, Big 12, ACC and SEC, and then you have the highest ranked Group of 5 champion, which currently the highest ranked Group of 5 team, number 25, Memphis. So Memphis would get in. That's coming off the victory over USF. They would bump currently number 12 Notre Dame out of the college football playoff.
Come on, Memphis.
So Georgia, Memphis would be your 5-12 matchup. Oregon, BYU would be your 6-11 matchup. Ole Miss, Miami would be your 7-10 matchup, and Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt would be your 8-9 matchup. And again, the higher ranked teams in the first round do get to host those. So certainly a much different field to where this shapes up from where we are, where we would have thought we would have been in the preseason.
There's a lot of usual suspects that are missing.
Yeah. So we'll start here. Who's the most surprising in, and is it like based on where they're seated, or just Georgia the fact that they're in? Is it just Georgia Tech being in?
For me, I think some of it, I'm not going to say A&M at 3, but that still feels weird. I think Indiana at 2 is incredibly surprising. From what I thought beginning of the year. I mean, you and I think, both picked against them twice.
I think so, yeah.
I kind of baffled there by that. But Georgia, obviously Vanderbilt is a bit of a commodity, but that matchup's cool. Like the Commodores versus the Ramblin' Wreck, I would have no problem with that. However, if Vanderbilt holds a 1-loss record with the gauntlet they've run and the rest of it remaining, they better have a bye. Because they finish this run, because I mean they just got through Alabama, LSU, Missouri, and they still have Texas, then Auburn, get a short break with Kentucky, and then finish at Tennessee. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean we've come to learn that that LSU not quite.
No, maybe not.
The team we thought they were going to be.
Home, so yeah, but yeah, quite the run that they've been on here in the second half, and it doesn't really stop. So if they get through that gauntlet, you better have them. These top 4 teams better be very aware that they are probably going to get pushed out by that.
Well, and especially because you figure that I believe with Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss all above them, I think there's some combination of those teams that have to play each other.
I'm sure. Yeah, they absolutely have to, right?
So at the very least, 2 of them would have to play each other in the SEC title game, but I'm sure there's got to be games between those, so they have to shake out. Ohio State and Indiana, if they hold sway, would have to play each other in the Big Ten title game. So there's certainly potential for Vanderbilt to move up and to possibly make a play and get into those the top 4, which is wild to say.
Insane,
given what they've gone through. The road seems a little easier the rest of the way. Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and then Tennessee. So you could very easily see Vanderbilt at 11-1 and maybe even getting a chance to play in the SEC title game, depending how things shake themselves out there. So, wild to see them. I think seeing Miami as low as they are, I kind of thought Miami was just going to run through the ACC, but I'm kind of with you. Indiana at 2 and Texas A&M at 3. The fact that you have an SEC team who is undefeated and playing as good on both sides of the ball as Texas A&M is, and I feel like nobody's talking about them.
By the way, none of those 3 teams play each other.
Wow. Okay.
Alabama, A&M, because I'm looking at A&M. They get South Carolina in what is a very dangerous trap game. Mm-hmm. And then they get Samford, and then they finish at Texas, which would be their biggest threat probably. I didn't see Alabama. I mean, they get LSU, and then they don't end very strong at all. I think they get Oklahoma's their closest. And as for Ole Miss, I haven't even pulled them up. But if they're not on those 2, then probably not. But I guess Georgia could potentially ruin something as well.
So Ole Miss has South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State. So they have a somewhat easy road.
They're free. Yeah,
Georgia has Florida, Mississippi State, Texas, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech to close out the year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Bama has LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, and Auburn. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of chances those teams playing.
I think
each
I
other.
just forget how large the SEC is now, and how are these teams not playing each other?
Right.
And I realize that it's just because they may as well have.
Well, and the Big Ten's in a similar boat.
It's
well.
No longer a Big Ten. They got to change their name.
They do. But the fact that Texas A&M is playing as good as they are, and nobody's really talking about them, is pretty wild, because when you have a number 3 ranked, the highest ranked SEC team is doing it quietly, which is pretty insane. Maybe people forget that Texas A&M is in the SEC. I wonder if
that's it.
I think people still think they're in the Big 12. Like maybe that's what it is. But Mike Elko has a hell of a program going on there.
Man, I didn't see that growth happening that fast. It looked like it was slow and steady, and then all of a sudden it spiked up.
Sure did. And man, to think we're a Tyler Buckner snap from possibly beating them is pretty wild. But By the way, I'm pushing for the name Enormous 18. That's what I'm looking for instead of the Big 10. Okay.
The enormous 18.
I like that until they expand.
That's a lot of teams.
It is, man. It's pretty silly. It is pretty silly, and the SEC comically large as well. The Big 12 certainly more than 12 teams. The ACC looks like the I mean, it looks like there's about 30 teams in the ACC now. So, the small conference days are over, and we're never looking back. But, we're a week away from actually talking about the rankings. But that's the picture. That's the picture of what it would look like if the first set of rankings come out. And I think the important thing to remember, and I always say this about rankings as a whole, but the important thing to remember over the next month, as we talk about these on a weekly basis, is where the rankings are now mean nothing. So next week when the rankings come out and you feel like your team is too low, that you're being disrespected by, there's no reason that this Big Ten team or this ACC team should be higher than this SEC. You may be right. I'm not gonna discredit you, but next week's ranking doesn't mean a whole lot because it's probably going to be nullified by the time the following one comes out.
Well, and be advised that when they're making these rankings. Like, it's just like at the beginning of the year where you're like, why is this team third? And then you're like, oh, right, it just sells a TV matchup. Like, that still happens.
Right.
Where they're like, well, this team probably doesn't belong up here, but they're about to play Ohio State. So, like, they'll just get knocked down, but it sells it before, So that still happens where they're like, look, we can't have an 8 versus 19. We need like an 8-12. So let's just pump this lesser team up a bit. And in the long run, it won't hurt anybody. I think that happens more than.
So Mike says Mike drops 1, Big Game Brian 0. Suck it, nerds. Mike had that as a lock last week. So,
and it happened on Monday.
Hammered that one home. Technically, it happened on Sunday, but I guess officially the LSU statement came out Monday. So
yeah, I think that's what I.
We'll allow it.
Yeah,
we'll allow it. Good job. Good job, Mike.
On.
All right, let's go to the college football games for this week.
All right.
And we play the Big Ten on CBS Music, which still feels weird. But we will start on Saturday at noon on ABC. The team we were just talking about, number 9, Vanderbilt. They are 7-1. They take that record on the road to number 20, Texas, 6-2. A 1.5-point home favorite for the Longhorns. You're over under 45.5. Sean.
Well, I've been high on the Commodores, and it's going to be real hard to get me off them. But there is something about this game after Texas has seemingly turned some things around, and everybody kind of forgot about them. A win against the number 9 team in the country from number 20 might be enough to get a 6-2 SEC team that had national championship aspirations close to the playoffs. And that scares me a little bit about my my newfound love for the Commodores.
Playoffs?
Because things just have a way of happening for those teams. We looked at that rankings and we're like, man, there's some weird teams here. Well, these other big names are sneaking up. And I could see the Texas pulling this off. However, this is a Commodores team that is not done riding this train. They're going to take this thing all the way to Knoxville before they decide whether or not they're going to close this thing out. Give me the Commodores to cover and win. I don't care if it's in Texas. I don't care if they play it on top of a volcano. Give me the Commodores, okay? And 45.5, give me the over on that. I think this one's going to be actually, I'm going to make a 180. I'm going to go just under. I think Texas's defense is playing well. I think Vanderbilt has a good enough defense. I don't think Texas really knows who their quarterback is.
Nothing is over!
So that just seems to be a Texas thing these days. So I'm going to take the under at 45.5 and go against my instincts there.
Yeah, here's the deal. Like, and this is no disrespect. I've seen some people trying to put Vanderbilt's quarterback in the Heisman discussion. Dude had like 106 yards passing this past week. Like, look, Vanderbilt's an awesome story. It's a fun story. It might win an ESPY. That's not a Heisman candidate. Yeah, Texas defense is starting to feel it, and I just don't think Arch Manning's very good. So if you're going to touch this game, hit that under because
Nothing is over.
For this game. And yeah, look, I think that the line on this game is Vegas and bettors just trying to bleed the last hope out of Arch Manning in Texas, and I don't think it's working. And you have Sarkisian already being like, "Hey, if the Tennessee Titans want to call me, I'll take a phone call." That's not what you want to hear your head coach say.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope.
Notre Dame rumors swirling about, is Penn State going to call Marcus Freeman? Is Florida going to call Marcus Freeman? And he's been like, guys, I'm blessed to be here, and I'm thankful every day I'm here. You have Steve Sarkisian going, yeah, my phone rings, guys.
I'm just saying, if my phone vibrates,
like he seems like he's already I'm done with this.
This is a team that like a month and a half, 2 months, was like they started the year number one in the country.
Yeah. Everybody was like, man, Texas is back, baby. And they don't seem to be back. So, long story short, give me Vanderbilt to cover and to win. But real quick sidebar, obviously not a game we're picking, Sean, but does this number scare you at all? Notre Dame, a 28.5-point favorite at Boston College.
I mean, I knew it would be high. I wouldn't bet that.
No. Like,
I don't know if I'd bet it either way.
I'm not I will guarantee you I'm not touching that game my life.
Look, if somebody was like, I already took all your money out. It's going on a bet. Do you want to decide? Are you betting on Notre Dame to cover or Boston College? Like, I would probably put it on Boston College.
Yeah.
Because the mystique of that game
always
has a way of keeping it closer than it has to be. Now, the good news is that could be 20 points.
Sure. Right. That could be a 3-score win.
If we want to not cover and win by 20,
I'm good.
I will gladly ride to next week because I have seen this before, and I'm not going to talk about when or where or in what context.
Yeah.
But this team, meh. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
There's been a few times in our life.
If this game was on the sheet with that line, I would pass.
Yeah, just be like, no,
I would just take
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Nope.
I'm not going to do
it. We got
it.
to pick it or it's wrong. It's like, then it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's wrong. But
abstain.
Yeah, I don't like that number because really, I mean, if you're giving 3 to the home team,
push. It's a half point. Push.
If you're giving 3 to the home team, they're a 30+ point favorite. I don't like that at all. That number scares me.
I actually almost prefer that because you said it's in Boston College, yes?
Correct. Yeah, there's a road game for us.
I almost prefer that because I think it's more fun for Boston College to steal it if it's in South Bend. This is one where you're just going into a sad. I mean, Notre Dame should I would think overwhelm. The stadium there with folks. It should be like almost a home game. There's no reason Boston College fans should be out watching this game unless they honestly think they're going to win.
Well, I think it's just that hope that history repeats again. Like that's the only thing they have going for them.
But being in Boston College, it definitely makes me a little more calm than if it were in South Bend.
Yeah. Being at home would have the makings of trouble. Anyway,
just absolute disaster.
Back to the actual games. 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. It's number 18 Oklahoma. They are 6-2. They travel to number 14 Tennessee, who is also 6-2, a 3-point home favorite in Knoxville. Your over/under is 56.5.
Look, I have been hot on Oklahoma the last 2 times that we have picked them, and I have been wrong both times. And I am over it. I am over Oklahoma. I'm finished. I'm done trying to pretend I know what they're doing. Just when I think they're an explosive offense, they're not. When I think their defense is finally starting to play, they're not. I don't even know what to make of this team anymore. If I think it's high scoring, it's low scoring, I almost want to pass on this game. But instead, I'm just going to take the Vols. Give me the white and orange. College football's better when they're good. I think when college football's kicking in Knoxville, I think the whole country enjoys the sport more. Give me that checkered end zone. Give me I don't care about your 3 points. That's an easy one for me. And at 56.5, I think both offenses shell out. I think this is an over.
Yeah, I think the over is the play. Mateer looks like he's kind of getting back to form, but Oklahoma just doesn't look as good as they did earlier in the year. But I think offense is the name of the game, so hit the over in this one. And yeah, look, if this is in Oklahoma, I'd probably play around with the idea of the Sooners getting a win. But Tennessee, by all accounts, one of the hardest places to play.
It's gonna be nuts,
especially at night. So
that's like the worst.
That's problematic. So I will take Tennessee on an easy cover and win on Saturday night. And then last one, late into the night, 10:15 Eastern Time on ESPN. Number 17 Cincinnati. They are 7-1. They travel to number 24, the Utah Utes. We get to pick them again.
Did you say Utes?
Utes. You say Utes?
They are 6-2, a 8.5-point home favorite for
Utes.
56.5 is your over/under in this one as well.
Well, looking back at Cincinnati's schedule while I was trying to prep for this game, there's some decent teams on there, like UCF, Kyle Nash, the Black and Gold Banneret, probably was at that game. Give him a ding on that, and Baylor always a decent program. Iowa State, like what they do most years. But none of these teams are anything close to as scary, I think, as Utah. I think Utah has taken a couple of tough ones on the chin. I think that game against BYU could have easily gone the other way. Things just didn't work out for them. And I think this is a team that's playing with a chip on their shoulder to try and get as close as they can here in the next 4 weeks. And I don't think Cincinnati has enough, in my opinion, to stop them. And I think this is one. You talk about tough places to play. Going out to the mountains and trying to play there at nighttime, that's not easy either. Give me the. That's a high over. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to score. I guess they do have a 70 spot once this year. It was against Northwestern State, but they have a 70 spot. Go ahead, give me the over then. I guess that's fine. And give me the Utes.
Did you say Utes?
I did.
Utes.
Yeah, look, Utah needs this one to get back in the Big 12 conference game. They are currently 5th in the standings. They're at 3-2 in conference. Houston, Texas Tech, this Cincinnati team, and BYU ahead of them. So to gain ground, this is a big one for the home team. Yeah, look, death taxes, the over. This is the Big 12 on a Saturday night. Absolutely, I would take the over in this one. And yeah, I think the pressure is there. I think Utah wins the game no matter what. I'll predict them to take that 8.5 on a cover. I wouldn't be shocked to see Cincinnati get the backdoor cover on that one and get a late score to kind of bring it to 7 or 6 or something like that. But Utah gets the big home win that they need. The Utes.
Did you say Utes?
I did.
Utes.
So go ahead and ring that one up for Utah to make things a little bit more interesting out there in the Big 12. So
hey, look at that. The Sixers forced overtime. They looked pretty dead to rights with a couple minutes to play. All right, way to go.
3-0, hopefully getting to 4-0.
Yeah, they've looked pretty legit so far.
I lost a parlay the other night because I had them losing to Orlando. So
like everything we were promised. So that's great.
Sure is. So let's wrap up the college football there. We will move on to the National Football League as we head into, and this is hard to believe as well, week number 9 in the NFL. Your buys,
I'm already dreading February.
Your bye weeks this week are 2 teams that you may not even realize they're having it. 2 teams that probably do need it. The Browns, the Jets, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers. So some teams can afford to get healed up a little bit. But we will start.
No homer this week.
No homer this week for Sean. That's right. But let's kick it off here, Sean. We will start Sunday, 1:00 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 3-4 Minnesota Vikings, kind of trying to keep their season alive a bit. J.J. McCarthy will be back for Minnesota. They travel to 5-2 Detroit, an 8.5-point home favorite. Your over/under is 47.5.
So J.J. McCarthy's first start, they asked him to start against an NFC North squad that made him look awful for 3 quarters. And then he managed to pull off some kind of magic, little Aaron Jones magic, who is healthy. Aaron Jones, he'll be there.
Yeah, the fact that he was not declared healthy until 2 minutes into that game on Thursday,
right,
screwed me, and I'm sure a lot of people over, both in bets and in fantasy football this weekend.
I had him in. I was like, he's playing.
The Ravens are possibly facing discipline because of Lamar Jackson not being declared injured, and yet Aaron Jones can just not be declared healthy until the game begins, and
it's
that's
like, I don't know,
okay.
Maybe he's playing.
Anyway, that's a me problem, not a you problem.
Yeah, it's a you problem. But man, of all the times to decide that the kid is ready to play, I don't know what the worst case scenario for a kid that's like, all right, good, I'm putting my helmet back on. But traveling to Detroit after the Lions had a bye might be the worst possible scenario I could imagine, especially
not great, Bob.
For a conference game, a division game. God. Not only that, but I think the behind the scenes, the managing of the McCarthy situation in general, and the Carson Wentz shenanigans, and like who's running the ball. Like I mean, I'm not going to start saying this is one of the most poorly run organizations in football, because historically they have not been. But it has been mismanaged. From what I saw last week, it was not a good product. It has not been for a few weeks, and I don't think it gets any better when you face Man Campbell and his Lions. Give me the Lions by at least 8.5. I think it could be 14. I think this is going to be a blue and silver explosion, and I think it's going to go over. I think the Lions are going to score enough points. I'm not going to say 47.5 on their own, but easily to carry the weight of their half. So Lions and the over.
All right. Now I am going to say under, and there's a reason I'm going to say under, because for the Vikings to win, they have to slow down the Lions offense. They have to. You're not going to go win a shootout with Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and David Montgomery and Sam Laporta and all of the weapons that the Lions have. You're not going to do it.
That's a lot of.
That's a lot of weapons. So you're not going to do it. But Sean, there's one thing that marrying and living with a Michigan fan has given me, and it's given me a piece of knowledge. And that is,
what's that?
J.J. McCarthy has never lost a game in the state of Michigan as a starting quarterback. Okay, so there's your stat of the week. You're welcome. So
it's cute.
It's. I'm not going to lock it. I have a different lock. I'm not going to lock it. But J.J. McCarthy remains unbeaten as a starter in the state of Michigan. Minnesota gets to 4-4 and just continues the chaotic season
that
this year has been. So the Vikings cover, the Vikings win, and the under in this one. All right, we go to Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. It is the 7-1 Indianapolis Colts. They are a 3-point road favorite at a reeling Pittsburgh Steelers team.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Who are 4-3. Your over-under on this one is 49.5.
Well, I mean, we all just watched the Aaron Rodgers Bowl kind of amount to far less than the Aaron Rodgers Bowl. And, God, what a hideous display of uniforms.
Oh, awful. Awful.
God, like,
throw those in the trash.
This is your revenge game. Why don't we go out there and just cover you in mustard, you know?
God.
Like,
the helmets were good. I'll give the helmets.
But, oh, man.
The jersey's bad. The khaki pants worse.
Like, Give me the striped B back at this point.
I never thought I'd want those back.
I thought they were awful.
Remember the Big Ben era when you had just black jersey with just yellow numbers, yellow helmets, white pants? Go back to those were nice.
They were very nice. The Heinz Ward-esque.
Oh my God! Nice. Yeah, these, whatever these are, just atrocious.
But whatever they are, they were atrocious. But I just watched them struggle with the Green Bay Packers, and as you know, I am not extraordinarily high on the Packers, despite what their record says and despite what the teams they've played are. And to struggle with, not that they have a poor defense or a poor offense, I think you're going to end up with an even better, more balanced product in the Indianapolis Colts coming in. And it's even harder to defend against, I think, because there is no go-to guy. There's no direct. I mean, obviously Pittman's having a heck of a season, but Daniel Jones has shown that if you're going to double Pittman, that Pierce and Downs and Warren are all perfectly good options. And when all else fails, toss it or hand it off to that man behind you. And it all works. And I think the Colts are just as good of a defense, at least close. And I think they come into Pittsburgh, and I think that 3 points, I'll take them easily to cover that 3 points and walk into Pittsburgh and get Pittsburgh to that 500, putting my Mike Tomlin losing season in a very realistic
You done
place.
messed up, Aaron!
You messed up, Aaron, and you too, Tomlin. This is going to be gut check time for the Pittsburgh Steelers when this one's over. And at 49.5, I'll take the over on 49.5. I think we get enough points out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, you have two really good offenses. The Colts are going about as efficiently as anybody in the league. A point differential of plus 116.
It's insane
for that team. By and large, the highest margin in the NFL. The next closest to them, I'm looking over the standings.
Detroit was fairly close for a while, but they had a bad first week. So
yeah, they had they're plus 64. The next closest is the New England Patriots at plus 67.
Jesus, Indy's where?
Indy's at plus 116.
To say it had to be high because it was approaching 90 a few weeks ago.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible.
Dismantling.
The wild part is about that they've scored 270 points. They are 116 in the green. The Dallas Cowboys, I think, are the second highest scoring offense. They've scored 246 points. They're at a -4.
That's just ludicrous.
It's absurd.
That's probably more maddening.
Trust me, from where I'm sitting, it is far more maddening.
How's that happen?
Mike Eberflus.
Oh, okay. That makes
they got Eberflus. But look, no, the Steelers, they're all of a sudden in a really interesting spot because if you lose this game, you get to 500. You have a Bengals team who's 3-5, a Ravens team who are 2-5. We don't talk about the Browns because they suck, but you have two teams behind you that are starting to look a little bit competent. Now I understand that the Bengals lost to the Jets. That's maybe there's some supernatural at play there. But the Bengals look more competent with Joe Flacco. The Ravens certainly are getting up off the mat.
Well, the Ravens looked competent this week, and they didn't even have Lamar Jackson.
Right, and he should
Tyler
be back.
Huntley came out and won a game, just keeping the ball safe. And that, if that's all the defense and the running game are asking you to do is to play it safe, Lamar Jackson is more than willing to just hold that ball and run with it.
For sure, yeah. So I think the Colts win this game easily. I don't think this Steelers team can match up to what the Colts are doing on either side of the ball. Again, offensively, they're probably going to score some points, but I think the Colts are just going to score enough to push it over that 49.5. So yeah, Colts easy and the over. Next one, we go to the 5-3 Kansas City Chiefs. They're a 1.5 point road favorite at the 5-2 Buffalo Bills. Your over/under on this one is 52.5. Sean,
this is the passing lane game.
It sure
this is. They were 5-3. We're coming up on a 5-2, a chance to make them 5-3, and just look at them in the rearview mirror. But Josh Allen's real good. Bad news for the Bills is no one else on that team. Well, Cook looked good last week. I'll give him that. Now, some of that's set up by Josh Allen. Sure, I've been very quick to dismiss Cook as a top-notch running back, and I still don't think he's in a discussion with Saquon or JT or any of those guys. But he's capable. But other than him and Josh Allen, I still don't know. They don't have a wide receiver for him to, like, target regularly. The tight ends go back and forth. They can't decide on a tight end one. It's always just confusion. And the defense is even more confused as a general rule. You're coming off a big win. Congratulations. It was Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. Okay? Let's not crown anybody. Let's not say, hey, great work. Like, and that was my big hang on Cook, is everybody's like, oh, man.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
If you have Cook on your fantasy team, you trade him now.
I should
it's
probably
not getting better than that. That was by far the best performance he's going to have in the next 5 years, let alone 5 games. So, having said all that, it all circles back to a red-hot Chiefs team, a red-hot Rashee Rice, a Patrick Mahomes that looks like he's moved back and is now a few years younger. He looked like an aging, out-of-shape version of himself for a few games while they were piecing it together. Now he looks back at his prime, doing what he does, and picking teams apart. And I think the Bills are a team that is just ready to be carved. I think it's that turkey ready to be carved. Get ready for Thanksgiving, Patrick. It's carving time. I'm going to take the Chiefs easily. I think 1.5's not even close to what this line should be. I don't care if it's in Buffalo. And I will take the over. I think you're going to see plenty of points. I just think you got one team surging and another team just floating and hoping they somehow get to their destination. And that surging team's going to just pass right by you.
I was doing some quick math here because certainly there's a lot of people.
That's dangerous.
I know. Certainly a lot of people. One of them on this panel that's not here has gotten very high on the Kansas City Chiefs very fast. There's a lot of people who are getting back on this bus saying, we're back, Chiefs Kingdom's back, the King's running King's back in the castle, blah, 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 all of that. 17-23 is the combined record of the teams that the Kansas City Chiefs have beaten this year. You take away the 5-2 Detroit Lions, and that number sounds a lot worse too. Okay,
True.
I'm not saying the Chiefs are not a good football team. What I am saying is we need to tap the brakes here. Like this is a team that struggled against Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders for a half of football last night. This team is not doing anything that feels spectacular in any way to me right now. So I'm not ready to crown them. I'm not ready to say they are back. You can call me a hater. You can do whatever you want. This is still a pretty average football team at almost the halfway point of the regular season. So are the Buffalo Bills. So we have the pretty average bowl coming up on Sunday.
Well, and that's why I rode momentum. I was just like, I feel like both teams are, but I feel like the Chiefs are working their way back to trying to do something close.
Certainly trying, but I think playing at home, this is maybe the last time you get Mahomes and Allen in this stadium. We don't know if they both make it to the playoffs, if it'll end up in Buffalo. So call me the guy on the Buffalo, Sean. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills to silence these Chiefs people, at least for a week. I'm already tired of hearing about them. So give me the Bills and the Bills Mafia. You can get that shirt over on the Huddle Up store. Again, let me flash that QR code up there on the screen.
Get your Bills Mafia.
How about the Bills Mafia? That's Bills with 2 S's. The Bills Mafia. You go grab that now over on our TeePublic store. And I'll take the over. I mean, both offenses are going to score points in this one. And especially if the Bills are going to win, they're going to have to get this to the over because the Chiefs will score.
Free throws, good for you guys.
The Chiefs will score a lot of points on them. So, all right, last one for the NFL. slate this upcoming week. The 5-2 Seattle Seahawks, they are a 3.5-point road favorite. They will be in their throwback uniforms on Sunday night on the road because the 3-5 Washington Commanders, ironic that they are just tail spinning because they are busting out the Super Bowl era throwback alternates for this Sunday. So we get like
Sans Indian Head.
Yeah, we just have the the W, but it's the old stripes, the old style uniform. So we have the throwback Washington versus the classic Seahawks. Visually, it's going to be a tremendous game. The football, maybe not. We'll talk about that. Your over-under on this one, though, 45.5. This one is the Sunday night game, 8:20 on NBC.
Yeah, man, and this is going to be kind of one of those picks that just accepts the fact that when I took one team to be in our preview show for the season and put another one, these two teams were vying for my last playoff spot in the NFC in my predictions. And I may have taken the wrong one. Now, some injuries have affected that. Terry McLaurin is banged up again, at least from what I saw coming out of the Kansas City Chiefs game. Got healthy, scored a touchdown. That's it, folks.
What'd you do? Way to go, a-hole!
I can't tell if it's all real or if he's just trying to get out of town. I don't know what it is, but whatever the case.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
The carousel going around in Washington is going in the wrong direction. And I feel the exact opposite about everything going on in Seattle. This is a team that I have fallen in love with. They're playing tremendous defense. They're running the ball well with two running backs. 2.5. They keep sprinkling in some other folks in there. They got rookie wide receivers. They have Sam Darnold. God, speaking of the Vikings, just mismanaging.
No. Because I've seen people doing this, and I'll throw the flag on it, Sean, because people are so quick to forget that at the end of last year, with the division on the line, the Vikings lost 38-9 to the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Then they did do that, and then they play on the road again in the first round. But they are a 14-3 football team. They travel to 10-7 Los Angeles, and they get their faces kicked off in SoFi by the tune of like 42-10.
One of the best 10.
It doesn't matter. Everybody is so quick to be like, "Oh, the Vikings screwed up." Sam Darnold, again, guy made his money. Good for him. Let's not play revisionist history. He looks as good as he does this year because of, A, the weapons he has in Seattle. And not that he doesn't have weapons in Minnesota, but he had less due to injuries and suspensions. And also, Seattle's defense looks far and away better than the Vikings' defense.
He's in a great spot.
He is in a better spot now.
Maybe that defense had something to do with those losses. Anyway, that all aside, I like what Darnold's doing. I like what the Seahawks are doing. I don't like what the Commanders are doing. And if my projection is going to be wrong and it's an NFC East team just farther away from where the Eagles are, I'm all for it. So let's go ahead and we'll crown the Seahawks a bit here. I'll take them to cover 3.5 fairly handedly here on the road. And 45.5, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to assume that Daniels has some wheels spinning early. Maybe they get something going late, but we're going to say this one hangs under. The defenses have to hold tight, and we're going to just miss that 45.5. By the way, 76ers solidify it, make some key free throws down the road. 4-0, beating the Wizards by 5 in overtime.
Basketball. Nice.
So here we go.
Very nice. Good job. What a start. I think.
Didn't see that coming. I mean, I knew they were going to be better, but I didn't think it was going to. They beat the Celtics day one. I'm like, whoa.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know where the 2004 Sixers had their fourth win of the year. I think I saw last night that they didn't get their third win until November, like late November. last year, and they started 3-0. So
pretty wild. And the Sixers in the preseason, like trying to kick things ground, 1-3, didn't look great, and it's just like now here we are. Regular season 4-0 wins against.
So yeah, last year they were one.
Celtics good, Magic are good. I mean, these aren't.
They were one
teams,
and 3 to start in October last year. They got win number 4 on the last day of November last year, November 30th.
Well, now a Celtics team you embarrassed on day one is coming back to Philadelphia in a couple of days.
There you go. They got win number 5 on December 3rd last year, so we'll see if we can get that before November 3rd this year. Pretty impressive stuff there. Yeah, look, Washington stinks. We all thought they'd be better. We were all wrong, and that's okay. We can all be wrong.
Sometimes hot garbage. Sometimes you see the hot. You don't see the garbage.
We don't see the garbage. You don't see the garbage through the hot. I think that's what the old adage is.
Like Manning, like Arch Manning. I saw the hotness and I didn't see the garbage behind it.
Yeah, look, I don't revel in people's failures, but as painful as the Cowboys defense is, makes me feel better that former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is having about as bad of a time right now. He's not having a good year.
No.
Whatsoever. I think that'll continue on Sunday night. I think Seattle handles this game easily.
Last year, his first year with Washington.
It was. Yeah.
So this is a sophomore slump for both he and Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a bad combination.
Yeah, it's not the best, but I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. But yeah, Seattle wins this pretty easily, and I think that the defense is gonna.
It's a low number, so I was concerned that even if the defenses take over, if there's like a defensive touchdown or something, like all of a sudden
it's hard to predict because I mean. Kansas City, which again everybody says so good, right? They put up 28 second half points or 21 second half points on the way to 28 in the game, but the week before the Dallas Cowboys put up 44 against the Commanders. So you can score against the Commanders. Apparently the Chiefs didn't know how to do it for 30 minutes, but
I mean I think the Chiefs have some drives that had some weird stalls in them, but they they could have probably scored more in that game.
So it may get over, but I'll go slight on the under. I'll go slight on the under just to be on the
got a banged up Pacheco in the game too, which might help the Chiefs scoring.
I also wouldn't touch this game. I think that's probably the safer play.
That's probably good. That's probably a good play. There's a lot of intent, especially with like the star quarterback coming back from I never touch that when that happens.
Yeah, let it go. All right. The last thing we do in the NFL before we get to our locks of the week is we look at our power rankings. So as we do, bottom 5 and top 4. I feel like this is going to be a shorter segment this week because I don't think there's a whole lot of changes going on.
Mine barely moved.
Yeah, mine barely moved as well. We'll obviously can compare them a little bit, but I will give EJ's and Mike's bottom 5s first. I'll let you do yours then. EJ has the Dolphins, Jets, Raiders, Saints, and Titans, rounding out the bottom 5. Titans his worst. Mike's Browns, Dolphins, Jets, Titans, and Saints at the way bottom. Sean, yours?
Yeah, I got the Browns in there as well. I threw the Giants in for good measure, mostly with the injury change to Tracy from Scatterbo and just the fact that the losses are starting to tack up here. I feel like the Giants are just headed this direction. And there's a couple teams that I thought deserved to leap out of here, so why not? It's still a trash organization. Then I got the Saints, who I think I thought they showed me enough against the Buccaneers to be like, you're not bottom 2. I know the scoreboard didn't look good. But, defensively, they held Baker Mayfield to next to nothing. Took some defensive the defensive scores to do it. I got the Jets at 31, and I'm on the EJ bandwagon now with the Titans at 31-32.
Yeah, I feel like 31-32 could be tied, but we don't play that game here.
Right.
I have the Giants 28, Dolphins 29, Jets at 30, Titans at 31, Saints at 32.
Yeah, I left the Dolphins out. I thought that big win, I know Devin was pretty high on it. I was high enough to get them out of the bottom 5. So, Devin, you're not going to crown them with the best of the week, but I will get them out of my bottom 5 for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still think they're a bad team.
They're trash.
Really bad team. Maybe I could have put them out, but they were second to last, so they did move up a couple for me, same as the Jets. I think the bottom line is, really, you could expand this to the bottom 7, and I think we'd all have the same 7 because we have
probably. I had a little harder time last week. We talked about how easy the bottom 5 was. I think those 2 wins from the Jets and the Dolphins really threw things off a bit.
They did. Because it's like you want to reward them, but they still stink.
The Jets are terrible.
They still suck. I mean,
you tell me who. Like when you're like, look, here's our star quarterback, but he might not be better than Tyrod Taylor. Like he might not be.
But he
played well. Fields looked good this week.
Yeah,
but man, doesn't say much for the Bengals defense there.
Let me see if I can quick find the stat.
Let's remind everyone, Garrett Wilson is not playing.
Correct.
Who is by far, I don't care how much people love Breece Hall in fantasy football or otherwise, Wilson is by far the best player on that team, like at least offensively. And for him to be out, and then you're just like, yeah, it's fine. We'll score 30 points, and we'll score as many points, still lose. Be like, that's a problem. So. But when you pay all your receivers that much money, I guess that's what happens. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah,
I think he knows.
I can't find the Justin Fields stat, but like numbers wise in his career, like the surprisingly the guy is actually pretty solid. Like not great. No, he's not. He's probably in that like 16 to 22 conversation.
He feels like a guy too that's like he can move. But I think he's starting to recognize where he's at in his career. It feels like he's trying to establish himself as a passer, and he knows he's going to have to move because the Jets have no one in front of him.
Right.
And that shows. I mean, the games where he's under duress, he can't do.
No.
They're asking him get the ball out of there, and he's just like, when?
Right.
He's not as experienced as Flacco. He's not as tall as Flacco. He's not as strong as Flacco. So that whole thing we talk about with Flacco, just getting the ball, finding his routes. They also don't have the receivers Flacco has.
Right.
They don't have Jamar Chase. So, you're asking him to do a lot with a little, and you're going to have stumbling blocks. Unfortunately, it's been pretty much all stumbling blocks. But
yeah.
But I like the kid, I think.
But yeah, it's they're all bad. So like the 7 worst teams in football all get accounted for across our rankings. All right. So EJ's top 10 will go 10-1. Bills, Seahawks, Patriots, Buccaneers, Rams, Packers, Eagles, Lions, Colts, and once again the Chiefs top out his top 10. Mike has from 10-1 the Rams, Chiefs, Patriots, Broncos, Eagles, Bills, Buccaneers, Packers, Lions, and Colts at number 1. Sean.
Nice. My 10 through 6 did shuffle. From what I saw, I believe everyone kind of trickled down. My current 7, the Patriots, was much lower, but they impressed me. They keep doing it with different guys. It's one receiver one week, another week. So they were my only big move, and everything else kind of shifted down. So I still have the Broncos at the bottom here of the top 10. I'm still not sure they belong there. But they had a good game against Dallas. Obviously hung up a bunch of points. That helps you, hurt your plus minus. But I guess I'll keep them there. I'm not going to punish them when you pummel a team. So that's fine. Buccaneers at 9. They fell because I don't think they looked good. I don't care what the score. I just don't think they looked good. And now you got 2 bad weeks for Baker. Packers are here just out of merit, I guess, for the record. I got the Patriots there at 7. Like I said, my Seahawks that I was talking up earlier at 6. Moving into the 5, I kept this pretty much exactly the same. Chiefs held at 5 for now. We'll see what the next week or two does. The Rams are holding at 4 until they blow it or don't. Eagles sitting at 3, waiting for someone to lose above them. But until they don't, the Lions and the Colts will round out my top.
Yeah, for me, for the first time, I think this year, the Chiefs get into my top 10. At number 10, Broncos 9, Patriots 8, Seahawks 7, Chargers at 6. My top 5 is unchanged. Bucks, Packers, Eagles, Lions, and Colts round out my top 5. Looking over Mike's, his top 6 did not change.
I was going to say, that looks familiar.
And for EJ, looking real quick here, his top 4 did not.
I was going to say, did he push the Rams up or something?
Rams held at 6. The Packers went from 9 to 5. Buccaneers fell to 7.
The old Dolly Parton maneuver.
Yeah. Seahawks fell 1. Patriots got up in, and then the Bills fell, pushing the Niners out. So a little bit of movement in the bottom 6. I think for all of us, that's what, or the from 6 to 10 is where the movement still wasn't a ton. The Bills
right around 6-7 is 6-7.
Yeah, the Bills. Jesus, you can tell
6-7.
Yeah, I'm too old, and I'm.
I'd explain it, but it was explained to me, and I still don't.
No, I've heard it explained on radio shows. I've heard it explained by a coworker's child.
I had the kids tell me, I'm like, explain it as simply as you possibly can.
Joey, my coworker's
this guy
son
who was referenced in this video, and it was hilarious, and then it was references of it got even fun. I'm like, so you're just remembering a joke?
It's like, Joe, can you explain this to me?
Okay,
And he says it, and I'm like, I don't know what the words you just said.
I think as dumb as it looks, that's what I find funny.
Well, yeah, you're like juggling big balls, right? Like it's.
6-7.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, you know what I mean? And I think there's been some great like memes and shorts and reels. And
oh, yeah.
It's like when we were kids, you know, these kids are so dumb. And we were literally pulling our T-shirts up over our heads and saying we were the great Cornholio. So, you know.
Well, we all needed TP.
We did. You always need TP for your bunghole. So,
you gotta need that.
So, you know, I think.
Well, we were a generation of TP for your bunghole and D-Generation X.
Right.
That was you know, we were just, you know, give them the old suck it and move on.
We were degenerates in so many ways. Just
you're nothing but a degenerate.
So I think it's shocking. It's just immaturity with kids, I think, and that's okay.
It's fine.
Stay young and immature as long as you want, because it gets worse when you get older. It's all bad. Yeah, so I mean, the Chargers moved up 1, Seahawks bumped down, Patriots held sway. The Bills and Rams fall out of mine. They were both off. Broncos and Chiefs find their way in. Yeah, it's just there's not right. This was one of those, and it seems weird to say like on a week where like the Cowboys get blown off the field and
I have that you don't.
The Jets win.
Rams.
Brian Kelly gets fired. It's like this is a week that felt quiet, and that's how crazy this year has been.
It's true.
But yeah,
trying to figure out. Yeah, you don't have the Rams. I think that's.
I don't.
You have Chargers. I have Rams.
Yeah, and like I want to like the Rams. I do, and I want them. And I think because they were off, because they, like I said, they were in 10 last week, and they were off. So. They're probably like them and the Bills are probably just outside. Right. When the Bills,
I'm not sure I have the Bills 1 or 2 out.
When the Bills beat the Chiefs this weekend, they'll get back in.
Of course, the Steelers are falling out, so that's great. They're doing what I need them to do. And yeah, there's a bunch. Bye.
Yeah, bye. But yeah, I don't think there's even a ton to talk about, because I think this is. None of it is surprising when a lot this week was a very chalk week in the NFL. So,
yeah, it wasn't a lot going on.
Absolutely not. All right, so Sean, we will close things up the way we do each and every week.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We look ahead to the weekend that will be and predict one thing, or I guess declare one thing that will happen this upcoming weekend. So, Sean, what will happen this weekend?
Oh man, as like looking at this slate of games, I don't really like locking anything. God, the Packers are just going to win again. Christ,
Right? It's stupid, isn't it?
It is pretty stupid. All right, I was trying to come up with something super clever, but good news for Devin is the Dolphins get right back to their losing ways here on Thursday. All right, I got one for you. So I think the Jaguars are going to come out of the bye here sputtering. I think the Raiders are going to try to do something and not fall to 2-6. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that which team's going to do it? The Bengals against the Bears? No. There's got to be an obvious one. Lamar Jackson is back, theoretically. So based on that, I'm going to say that the Baltimore Ravens on a Thursday against the Miami Dolphins will score more points than the Jaguars and Raiders combined in their game on Sunday.
Lock it up.
I like that. That's
my prediction. I had either the Ravens. I was staring at the Cowboys against the Cardinals. I was like, they might. I think there's a couple teams that have a shot, but yeah, it'd be funny to say the Chiefs and the Bills will both outscore that game. That was my other take, but there's a lot of teams might outscore that game. So, especially if they rest Brian Thomas, if there's calls coming in. So we'll see.
They might. I think that the Jags did say they're not going to trade him, but
yeah, okay.
But $1 Million Man.
Everyone says that until the call comes in.
Right. Everybody's got a price.
Everybody has a price.
If there's one thing we know, it's everybody has a price. Yeah, I was almost going to lock the J.J. McCarthy thing, but I'm not confident enough to do that.
I just went ahead and did a lock the other way and been like some ludicrous Lions lock.
So I'm going to go to college football for my lock, and I've had some success doing these sort of things.
You have? You've had some?
There's at least one top 10 team will need a fourth quarter comeback or lose outright against an unranked opponent. There are 6 games.
I was going to say, how many of them play?
Of those varieties. So you have Penn State, unranked Penn State traveling to number 1 Ohio State.
Well, that's not going to be.
that's probably.
I know we got some Happy Valley folks out there.
That's probably not going to be the one.
Let's not get your hopes. That's not the game he's talking
Spoiler
about.
alert. Spoiler alert. That's not the one.
Penn State bad, Ohio State good.
Number 2, Indiana travels to Maryland, College Park. Number 5, Georgia travels to the.
That game for Indiana. I don't like that.
No, that one seems tricky.
That's yucky.
Number 5, Georgia travels to the Swamp in Florida. That one could be.
That's also yucky.
South Carolina travels to number 7, Ole Miss. South Carolina almost upending Alabama a week ago.
That's probably the one.
Number 8, Georgia Tech travels to North Carolina State. Probably not the one. And number 10, Miami travels to SMU. So that one could be sneaky. That one could be sneaky,
but it's not yucky.
It's not yucky. There's a couple.
It's yucky.
There's some potentials there.
That's a South Carolina team that's been just written right off the map. They're just like, this is their chance to be like, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
And they love these late season just upending a top team. That's a big South Carolina thing.
Speaking of Maryland, we were tentatively looking at going to the because Michigan travels to Maryland in November. And we're like, tickets can't be that expensive. It's Maryland football. Like, they cannot be that expensive. So we pull up the schedule, and tickets are over $100 a piece for that game.
Playing? Do they play at like the Ravens stadium?
No, they play at College Park. This dinky,
it's like a tiny stadium.
Dinky-ass little stadium. And I was like, hold on a second.
Well, that's why.
Oh, yeah. So then I look at other, like the Indiana game. I forget who else was Illinois is coming to town. Tickets start at like $13.
Right. Well, because Michigan travel.
Exactly. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I didn't think it would explode that high. And then I'm like, my God, could you imagine what it would cost if Notre Dame went to College Park?
Because your East Coast Michigan fans want to go, but there's only 12,000 or 15 some seats.
Well, yeah, and usually the only two like small small ball games that you get for Michigan in the is Maryland or Rutgers. So like you get one shot a year because you're not going to go to Penn State and deal with those assholes. And you can travel to Ann Arbor. But that's how I think. I was like, well, we'll just go to Ann Arbor if we're going to spend a lot of money on this freaking game. But so, spoiler alert, we're probably not going to Maryland game.
I mean, just set the day aside, and as you get closer, maybe somebody tries to unload it.
Well, that's what we said. We'll revisit. It gets a little closer, because you're looking your second to last week of the regular season.
Michigan blows a game somewhere.
You could contend. You could contend with some.
Yeah,
don't go there. We could contend with some weather as well.
Sorry,
so. All right, let's close it up though, Sean. Let the people know where they can follow you.
Well, this week you can get back out there. I got the voice back. Maybe I'll do some of my own segments on the Twitter before I get back in the podcast game. So check me out at Sean Shine State on the Twitter there. Otherwise, catch me on all the clips shared on all the Huddle Up podcast feeds. And don't need to be glued to a TV for the Eagles or anything. But hey, go Sixers, go Flyers. Nice wins tonight, and as always, go Birds.
There you go. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports on Blue Sky and on Twitter. Most importantly, though, follow along with the show. We're at Huddle Up Podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe there. You can hit our link tree, hit that QR code in the top right corner of your screen on our streaming platforms. That'll get you everything Huddle Up related. You can get our merch link and our YouTube link, all of our socials there on that link tree. But appreciate the support as always, all the interactions during the show, throughout the week, on our socials and on our YouTube. We do appreciate that. Until next week, hopefully my voice will be a little bit better. Again, Devin, I'm all good. No sadness over here. It was just a self-preservation tactic on my part. But until next week, we happy Halloween. Trick-or-treating. Stay safe there. Stay smart. And as always, go for the win.